All right, welcome, guys. This is Breakfast with the Brand. I am your host, Junior Frederick, and you are now tuned into the number one podcast in the world for entrepreneurs and leaders who want to go from bland to industry leading brand. So, if you are now coming in live, I need you to do two things. You already know. Number one, put some flames in the chat. Number two, let us know where you're listening in from. I have with me the king of branding himself, Mr. Shaan Rais, and we have a phenomenal show for you this morning. By the way, guys, if you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat. This is an interactive show. So we want to know what's on your mind. I see we have Coach B. Phenomenal morning to you. Let's get Shine out here, Mr. B.
Good morning. Phenomenal morning.
Yes, it is.
New intros. Let's go.
Yeah,
Let's go.
we have to keep
Yes.
you have to keep
Yes.
switching it up every now and then, right? Right.
Definitely. Definitely.
Yeah, guys, what do you think of the new intro? Let me know. Put something in the chat. I see we have Ty Jackson. Okay, I see we have Shade Rivera. Phenomenal morning. What do you guys think of the new intro? Put it in the chat. Put some flames if you like it. Let us know. Shan, how you
You
doing,
guys,
brother?
hey, I'm phenomenal, brother. I have no complaints at all. You know that $100 question, you got to be on time to get that. You got to be on time. So if you're on time, if you're watching, right, let us know that you're present, right? Because if not, you will be disqualified. You have to be on time. Early morning riser. Early
Who
morning
got the
riser.
last one? Who got the last one? Was
Who
it
got the
was
last
it was
one?
Rebecca,
Who
right?
got the last one? Yes, it was. It was Rebecca. Yeah,
Boy.
Rebecca Mawuko got it. She got the last one. And then I think it was a twofer. I think Michelle got it twice, back to
Yeah,
back.
Michelle. Let's see, Michelle. Michelle always comes because she already know. She's so sharp. She normally gets it like one, two,
Hold
three.
on. No. I think Kiana got it one time too.
Yes,
Kiana
she
got it
did.
as well. Yep.
Yes, she did.
Okay.
Yes, she did. All
Thank
right,
you.
so Shan,
Thank you.
before we really get into it, I just want to say some good morning, send some shout outs. I see we have Shade Rivera. So Shade, good morning to you.
Good
All right,
morning.
all right. We have Ty Jackson. Some flames in the chat. Ty, good morning to you. I see who else? I see we have Coach B. Coach B, good morning. There we go. Charmaine, good morning, good morning. All
Coach
right,
B.
guys. So
Coach B got
yeah,
some new. I think Coach B got some new some good luxury stuff. She said she's going through branded like a leader. And in branded like a leader, I encouraged everyone to treat yourself, to be yourself, to be your greatest self. Like treat yourself to a piece of luxury. Treat
yeah,
yourself to a piece of luxury. And she actually took action on that and
right.
showed a sapphire Movado, right? Showed a
Mhm.
sapphire dial Movado in on Facebook. So congratulations, Coach B. You're gonna enjoy it, definitely. I'm sure it looks phenomenal on your arm. And let's go. If you guys are listening, listen. We don't believe that poverty is pious over here, right? We don't believe in self-flagellation. That's not our thing. We believe in treating yourself as your best self and sometimes buying up. Right. So before we go to the chat, before we go to the commercial, I just want to talk about that buying up. Right. Treat yourself as your best version that you might not be yet. Treat yourself as the best version that you might not be able to see yet. Buy something for yourself right outside of your comfort zone before you become the person. It will help you transcend the levels. I can remember like it's applying to college. Just imagine it. It's like applying to a university. You don't know if you can make it. You don't know if you can afford it. You don't know if you can really belong there or cut the mustard, right? As they say, cut the mustard. You're not sure if you can do it. But when you put yourself in that space, you realize, hold on, I was born for this. I'm comfortable here. Not only am I comfortable here, but people welcome you. They welcome you on arrival because you really belong wherever you see yourself. However, just write those words down, how you see yourself. So if you see yourself as subpar, then you'll get objections and hard negotiation based on your price because of the way you perceive yourself. However, if you perceive yourself as uber luxury, then that's how you'll be perceived as well. You want people to see you or treat you the way that you see you or treat you. The problem is you don't see yourself high enough. So they treat you low grade. That's all I want to say before we go. Bring it into existence. Bring it into existence. So again, congratulations, Coach B, for taking action on that powerful, powerful principle taught and branded like a leader. And enjoy your
Yes,
new book.
sir. Yes, sir. What you just said there is so powerful, and I know for me, from personal experience, that's something that I've done. In the beginning, every time I made some money, I remember buying something for myself that sort of expanded that comfort zone a little bit.
That's right.
Guys, this is about starting where you are and just growing from there. And like I always say, you have to be so you can become. And taking action on that, stepping into that sort of luxury lifestyle, is definitely one of those ways. Definitely one of those ways. Guys, we're about to go to break. But when we come back, we're gonna get into some really really good content. Today we'll be talking about positioning. So before we leave, I want to ask everybody a question. I want you to put it in the chat. What is your definition of positioning? We'll be right back after the short break. All right, guys, welcome back. This is Breakfast with the Brand. I am your host, Junior Frederick, and you are now tuned into the number one podcast in the world for entrepreneurs and leaders who want to go from bland to industry leading brand. Guys, so before we went to the break, Shaan, I asked the audience a question. What is your definition of positioning? I just want to check the chat to see if anybody responded to that. I see we have, Mr. B, can we bring up Ty Jackson's definition right there? All right, so positioning is setting yourself up in the perfect spot in the marketplace to attract your ideal client. Hmm.
Okay. Okay.
Let's see, Coach B. Coach B said something. Let's get Coach B. How to place your branding and its uniqueness for your customers. Very interesting. Very interesting. Okay. So Shan, let me come back around and ask you the question. What does Mr. Shaan Rais say? What is your definition of positioning?
Placement, placement, and poise, right? Poise, Poise. When you think of body language, you think of sometimes if you look at a gazelle, you'll see poise, you'll see movement, you'll see the way they move. I want you to think of going into a store, or actually not going into a store yet, walking past the store. And when you walk past the store, you see something. You see something that triggers an emotion, triggers a feeling, and makes you want to step inside. Now, the feeling that you feel is based on the brand. Remember how we talk about branding and the brand. The brand is an emotion, the brand is a feeling. People don't remember what you said, they remembered how you made them feel. So you see something and you say, feels warm, feels inviting. And then you may walk inside of the store and end up buying anything else or the same thing that you saw. So the branding is the what or the who, the positioning or the marketing is the how.
So let's let that sit for a while. So the branding is the who, the positioning is the how.
That's right.
Let's lean into that a little bit. Can we break that down?
Let's do it. Let's do it. So you are the brand. If you've gone through branded like a leader, if you know about branding, if you know about the principles of branding, then you know who you are, who you serve, how you serve them, where they're located.
Let's break that down just a little bit. Right.
But the point of being in the right place at the right time to be seen by the right person in the right way,
Mm.
that's the positioning. That's the positioning. So imagine going past a store and wanting the same thing that's inside of the store, but you can't see it. You can't see it. So I asked a phenomenal group of people the other night, KLT, KLT, kilt, KLT, know, like, and trust. Know, like, and trust. And I asked the question, which one is most important for someone to know, like, or trust you? Right? What's more important? And I'm going to ask this group the same thing. For everybody that's here, know, like, or trust. If you were at the training, don't answer. But if you were not at the training, what do you think is most important out of that trifecta? The triangular close. Know, like, or trust. What's more important? Let's see.
This should be interesting. This should be pretty interesting.
You're presenting, you want to close, you want to make a deal in regards to the sale. In regards to the sale of products and services, what's most important? Know, like, or trust. Put it in the chat. And if you're outside, put it in the comments and we'll go back and see who wins. Maybe there'll be a little bit of a bonus. Look at that. Look at
That
that.
one, I think that one was a little too easy. It
No.
might have
Oh,
been a
okay.
little
So
too
go
easy.
ahead. What do you think, Junior?
Well, it's obviously trust. It's obviously trust.
Boom. Bang the symbols together, guys. It is not trust.
It's not trust,
Look, I
Shan.
tell you, I promise you, we don't
Is
script
this a
this
trick?
stuff. If
Hold on,
we
hold on.
script
Is
this
this a
stuff,
trick? Is this a
if
trick
we
question?
scripted this stuff, Junior would know the answer. Go ahead, Junior. What's the question?
All right, Shan. I know. This is obviously a trick question, and you're gonna say
No, it's
all of
not.
them
It's
are
not a
important.
trick question. I don't.
All of them are important.
Hold on. It's not a trick question. It's not a
Okay.
trick question. Watch this. If they don't know you, how can they trust you? If
Well,
they don't know you, how can they trust you? I'm just asking a question. If nobody knows you, how can they determine whether they like you or trust you? They'll never get to trust. No is the first answer. It's the first step. And that's why positioning and marketing is the vehicle. It's the vehicle that transports your brand to what we call TOMA, which is top of mind awareness. Trust is a very, very important factor to the close. Yes, it is. However, if someone doesn't know that you exist, they'll never be able to determine whether they like you or trust you. So no is the answer. They have to know you before they can trust you. And that's
So
where the
that's very
positioning comes in. That's
right.
where the marketing, that's where the positioning comes in.
All right. That's very interesting perspective
That
there.
should have been
So
the $100 question, huh? I'd have kept my
maybe
money in my
I
pocket.
don't think I don't think anybody got it. I don't think anybody got it. But that's very interesting. So let's lean into that. And guys, if you're now coming in, I want to say phenomenal morning to you. If you're coming in, in fact, three things. Put some flames in the chat. Wherever you're looking at this, please like. So if you're on Instagram or I see some people on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, just like it and also share the content. So,
Oh
or they
yeah.
say share, like, subscribe. So if you're on YouTube, definitely subscribe for regular updates, etc., etc. And of course, share this video so a lot of people can get the content that we'll be talking about this morning.
That's
And
another
phenomenal morning to you.
criteria. Hold on. Let's establish that criteria. You have to share the video in order to qualify for the $100 question. If you don't participate 100%, then you won't qualify for the $100 question. Share the video out. Help someone else. Because what I just gave will save someone's business. It doesn't make a difference if you have the best cookies in Virginia if nobody knows you exist. Share this video out. Help someone build their business while we help you build yours. Let's go.
All right, and guys, if you have shared the video, I need you to put a number 2 in the chat. So if you shared the video, and we will be checking, right?
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
So share the video. If you did
Share
share the
the
video,
video out.
just put a number 2 in the chat. We'll be giving away some money this morning, maybe around the second food segment. So definitely put your number 2s. So Shan, that's a very interesting perspective. Saying that the knowledge I think the knowledge definitely comes first,
It
but
has to.
it has to come first. Let me say that. But I also agree that trust is like the top of the mountain as well. So
It's
how does a
go ahead.
uh-huh. No, I was actually you could answer because I'm actually going to segue into another question about positioning, based on
Okay,
what you just said.
so this is the thing, right? Trust again is super important to the close, but it's not the first step. No one trusts you before they know you. It's almost like asking someone to marry you on a first date or as soon as you meet them. This is the thing. This is the thing. A lot of us have what we call the three E's. So you have the education, you have the experience, you have the expertise, but there's an E that comes before that. There's an E that comes before that, and that's exposure. If you don't
Shan,
have,
that should have been the $100 question.
that's another one.
That
I
should
can,
have been the $100 question.
all right, all right. My bad, my bad. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna stop talking.
Oh boy.
Yeah, you
But yeah,
have to
you're
have
definitely right.
exposure.
Mhm.
People have to know that you exist. They have to know that you exist in the marketplace. It's an absolute must. It's imperative. If nobody knows that you exist, you could have the best product in the world, the best coaching, the best speaking, the best keynote, the best book. If you don't write that book and then promote that book, it doesn't make a difference. You're going to be working for someone else. You're going to be building someone else's dream while you've got the keys in your chest.
All right, definitely. So So just to answer Robin. So Robin Patrick, phenomenal morning to you. So we need you to share this video. So if you're on LinkedIn, just share it to your network on LinkedIn. So this is the video that we're talking about. And as soon as you're done, just put a number 2 in the comments. As soon as you're done. So Shan, let's get into some more questions. And guys, if you do have any questions about positioning, feel free to just put them in the chat. How can somebody begin to position themselves as leaders in the market? What would you say? I mean, there are many ways, right? And I spoke about this on Clubhouse last night, and I gave 4 ways that you could position yourself as a leader in the market. But I want to hear from your perspective. What would you say are the sort of the top 3 ways that somebody could position themselves as a leader in the market?
Okay. Before you take over, most times you need a makeover. I'm writing because I want you guys to write that down.
You're gonna tweet that later.
Yeah, definitely. Before you take over, most times you need a makeover. So one of the things that we provide for the phenomenal leaders at a specific degree with us when they work with us is a social media makeover, right? Usually you're not positioned as the leading authority in your industry. You're just present or maybe halfway present. I see so let me give you an example of what I mean. I see so many gray screens on LinkedIn. I see so many gray screens on LinkedIn. Now, just imagine if I had a green background. You know how they do the green screen?
Mm-hmm.
Now, just imagine if I had a little green screen in back of me, and every time I moved, my ear got chopped off. Every time I moved, you saw my ears go leaving, right? Every time I moved, my ears disappeared. How would that position me as a leader in my industry? How would that position me as a professional? What would be your interpretation? Put it in the chat. Be honest. It's okay. Be brutally honest, please, because we want to help somebody. So if you saw a plain green screen in back of me or a background like this, but every time I moved, my ears disappeared. And I'm telling you how to build your business and grow your business to 7 figures and luxury. What would be your thoughts?
I actually find that very funny.
It is. It's funny. It's hilarious. Especially if I'm talking some powerful stuff. I mean, the content might be fire, but the context
Mm-hmm.
is laughable. That's positioning, right? So you want to make over before you try to take over. And I see so many people, so many marketers on LinkedIn try to jump in the DM or do the little in-mail stuff. And they're like, hey, Shaan, great background. I was looking at your profile and I noticed that you're a coach. I would like to hook up or see how we can X, Y, and Z so we can maybe bring you more leads or maybe, help you grow your business or help you expand in this area or expand in this area. And, I try to give everybody a shot because I know where they're at, right? I know where they're at. I used to be there. So I'll give them a fair shot and go look at their profile. But when I see a picture that's not professional with a gray background, which means they took no time to put together any banners, and they're talking about helping someone else with marketing or business, but they haven't handled their business proficiently. It makes me laugh, and it makes me feel kind of sorry for them because they're missing an opportunity. They might have some phenomenal tea, but instead of having the right china, they're putting it in a steel cup. You know the steel cups that you could tap on, like the tin cups? Don't have phenomenal tea in a tin cup. So social media makeover before you take over. That's number
All
one.
right.
Number two,
Shan,
we yeah.
hold on, Shan.
All right,
One
no
second.
problem.
Let me tell you something. Before we guys put some flames in the chat, we do have to take a short break, Shan, before you go into those other two. But
All right,
guys,
so let's
let
leave
me
on that
also,
principle.
yeah,
Don't
let's leave
have
on.
don't have phenomenal tea inside of a tin cup. Get yourself a chalice. Let's go.
So B, let's take a short break, please. All right, guys, welcome back. Welcome back. So, before we get into the content, guys, if you haven't done it already, please hit the share button. So, please share the content. We'll be giving away some money in a bit. Um, Shan, so we left off talking about water or tea in tin cups and positioning. You know, that's something else. That's something else. But you're absolutely right. Changing your attire to match your desire, as we said, is definitely one of the things, and not just the attire, but
That,
also the
that-
whole
that's
social media.
that's the segue,
Right.
right? So the tin cup represents your makeover before you take over, right? Take some pride in the way that you're positioned and pay some attention and pay some money too, right? Because everybody tries to do it on $5. Your idea of a budget, your idea of a budget. So let me say this. Your budget will correlate your brand. Your budget will correlate your branding. So if everybody's trying to save a dollar, save a dollar, save a dollar, what you're actually doing is you're throwing away dollars. Your idea of saving a little bit of money in your positioning is actually costing you 10 times, 100 times what you're trying to save, because you're making your brand look cheap. You're making your positioning look cheap. You're not investing in the information that you need to help you position yourself the right way. Okay, so let me put it this way. Mercedes-Benz, Salvatore Ferragamo, even Lowe's, Tiffany, BMW, Audi, they hire consultants to come in and consult them on how to best position in the marketplace. Then they hire strategists to execute on that strategy. Then they hire designers and have designers come in to put their brand book together. And then they have specialists come in and put their marketing together and do all of these different things so that when they're seen correctly, powerfully, and polished. We as entrepreneurs have a different mindset. We're going to save a couple dollars here, save a couple dollars there. We're going to do it on the least budget, and we're going to save as much as we can and hold as much as we can and do this on a shoestring. And then we wonder why everybody that we meet says, no, 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 I'm not working with you. No, no. You wonder why you do a call and nobody comes. You wonder why you keep posting and posting and posting and no one responds. Pay the price. Pay the price. And I'm not saying you have to work with us, but you better work with somebody, right? You better get the right information the right way so that you can be seen in the right place, in the right light, at the right time by the right person. Because again, they were talking about positioning. You can have the best, the very best steak and take. You can have the best steak and take, the best ribeye, the best T-bone. But if you're in a vegan neighborhood, it won't make a difference and you'll go out of business like that.
Super powerful. Super powerful. So Shaan, let's get into the other two ways. And I'm actually gonna take a question. When we get done with the other two ways, I'm actually want to take a question
Okay,
that was sent in.
So the next part is to change your attire to match your desire. So you got this polished, let's say you do the first part right. You do the first part right. You do the makeover to takeover. Now, when I look at you in the marketplace, you look polished, you look professional, you look exquisite, which means you did a professional photo shoot and you got your stuff put together the right way. So you look polished. However, now you're going to do a live. Now you're going to do a live. And when you do a live or when you show up on your event, it doesn't match. So you polished up top and rusty on the bottom. Right? You polish, people see your stuff, you look phenomenally. But when you show up, you don't show up phenomenally. You don't show up on top. You show up with your ears disappearing. Right? You show up and you're not as professional as your appearance or your price indicates. Don't ask for a certain amount of money and not look like that certain amount of money. Nobody wants to help. Nobody wants to build your business for you. Let me say that. No one wants to build your business for you. No one. They want to build their own business. Nobody wants to pay for your car note or your phone bill. They want to pay for you to solve their problems. Who am I going to go to help me get rich? Right? If that's my desire, if my desire is to get rich, put it in the chat. Let me see who's paying attention. Who would I go to learn how to get rich? Whether it's through business, whether it's through real estate, whether it's through SaaS or a software, who would I go to learn how to get rich? Put it in the chat. I only see Kiana, very active. I don't see anyone else. She says, go to an expert. He says, come to me. Taisha got it. Put Taisha up in it. Put Taisha up there. Put Taisha's comment up on the front, Mr. B, if you don't mind, please, sir. Oh, Mr. B might have stepped away. You go to a rich person. If you want to become rich, you go to a rich person. If you want to learn how to be a successful coach, then you go to someone who's a successful coach. If you want to be a consultant, then you go to someone who has a business that is proficient in consulting. right? So if you want to, what my point is that you have to look the part. You have to look the part. And in order to look the part, you really got to be the person. Because have you ever seen a monkey in a suit? Of course you have. Someone who wore a suit but didn't look comfortable in it, right? And let me tell you something, guys. You don't have to be a millionaire to look like a millionaire and be professional and be clean and be courteous and be rich. Rich means to be enriched. Write that down. Rich means to be enriched, right? So I don't even work with people that just want money. We have a high level of morals, values, and principles here. So you have to have an enriched culture. You have to have those morals, values, and principles about yourself. Rich does not just mean money. Listen, when I came into business, I didn't want to just be rich, and say, I want the numbers, because I'm married. And I love my wife and I have a family and I love my children. So what if a man get rich? What if a man lose his soul? What if a man gets rich and loses his soul in the process? So I don't want to get rich financially and lose maritally or relationally or familially. I want the whole thing. So because I want the whole thing, I've got to seek out people who have the whole thing. And their business is still growing. And they have morals, values, and principles. And they look good in the marketplace. And they're actually living good in their real personal lives. So when you want that, when those are the things that you want, you have to seek out the people that are doing all of those things. And that's what I mean when I say change your attire to match your desire. It's really, write this down. This is the key part that most people go and miss. It's really a mindset.
Hold on. Now, Shaan, we talking about attire.
Yes, sir.
So attire to me is the way that you dress.
Watch this, Junior. If your mindset is a certain kind of way, you can't wear a white tee. Your mindset won't allow it. You won't come on camera unprofessional. Your mindset just won't allow it. Your physical attire is in alignment with the way you think, with the vibration. Everything outside of your head represents the internal workings of your thought process. Your business success, your attire, your decorum, the things you see when you open your eyes. Everybody, just take a quick scan of your surroundings. Not mine, yours. Look around you, realistically, like it's an exercise. Look around you. If you don't really like what you see outside of you, there's something going on inside of you that needs checked.
That was a deep one. That's a deep one. So what I hear you saying is I guess we have our physical attire, external attire. I, I'm just gonna say mental attire. I'm gonna say mental attire. And guys, if
Good.
you tweet that, make sure you give me credit. Mental attire, right? So you have to change your mental attire. You have to change your mental attire. That's the new word. That's a new word today. A new phrase. Mental attire. Hashtag mental attire in the chat. All right. So
I
Sean,
like
that
that.
is there we go. Hashtag mental attire. Okay. So yeah, that's I mean, everybody, I would say most people are they know this, right?
Let
Intuitively,
me, I'm
they know
sorry. I got to add a little bit more to it, Junior. I'm
uh-huh.
sorry. I'm sorry. You see people enter into a program. They say, I'm going to make an investment in myself. I'm going to change my life. And they go away to college. They go away to school. They enter the military, perhaps. They enter into a program. They say, I'm going to take this certification. And nothing changes. Nothing changes. They look the same, talk the same, walk the same, their business account is the same, everything is the same. Where's the transformation? You know you've got something right when there's transformation and not just transaction. Now, again, the frequency, it's on the individual to not just buy what's supplied, but apply what's supplied.
Shaan, I have a question, a very interesting question. This is sort of a chicken and the egg sort of question,
Okay.
right? Now, I want to ask you, and in fact, let me ask the crowd first. And I know we do have to go to a break in a few minutes, but I want to know which one comes first. Does the changing of the mental attire come first, or does the changing of the physical attire comes first? Before you answer, Shan, let's see what they're gonna say. So, guys, put a number one if the mental attire has to change first. Put a number two if the outward attire, the physical attire, if that has to change first. Let's see. So one is mental attire, two is your actual attire, your physical attire. Put that in the chat. So one person said mental, Ty said physical, Tasha said physical. And by the way, I see we have some questions. We're gonna get to those questions after the next break. I know Shade and also I think Coach B asked a question. All right, so Tasha said physical, Ty says physical, Kiana says mental. Anybody else? I promise you it's not a okay. So Shade says free. Shade says together. Shade, that wasn't that wasn't an option, but okay. So Kiana said your perception must change. Okay. All right, so Shan, let me allow you to answer the question. So what do you think has to change first? Oh, let me rephrase the question. Let me ask the question the right way because
All
both of
right.
them have to change. But which for somebody who's starting off, who wants to begin changing their because a lot of people need to change their self-image. They need to change the way that they view themselves, the way that they see themselves. Where should they start to get to where they want to go with the least amount of resistance? Where is it easier for them to start and to make progress? For somebody who's starting off, is it easier to change your mental attire, or is it easier, or should you change your mental attire first, or should you change your physical attire if you're looking to change your self-image?
I love that. I love that question. And the reality is you're actually answering the question with the question. Restate the question, please. Watch this, guys. Restate the question.
The question is, should someone change their physical attire, their outward attire first, or should they change their mental attire?
Why would they do either?
You want me to answer?
No, just tell me why would they do either? Ask because they want to what?
Okay, oh I see. So we're talking about shifting your self-image. We're talking about branding, right? Talking about
How does
branding.
it start? How does it start?
How does it start? What do you mean?
How does it start? What does it start as?
I don't understand the question.
You want to first. First, it's a desire. It's a want. That's mental. That's mental. You want to do something. That's psychological. Behavioral starts second. You notice something mentally first. You say, wow, there's an inadequacy. Something's not working for me. I want something different. In order for you to want something different, you have to do something different. The physical attire is the doing. Does that make sense?
It does.
Yes, but it begins
Right.
as a desire here. There was a time in my life when I would not even step foot inside of a suit store. There was a time when I remember walking up and down 125th Street. If anybody here is from New York, you already know what 125th Street is. I wouldn't even walk inside one of those stores. I walked outside those stores. I would laugh at the people that walked in those stores. My mindset wasn't there. And I didn't magically wake up one day and have a suit on. It started as a thought. All of your success in business will begin as a thought, a desire to change your circumstances, a want to do better. When you look good, you feel good. When you feel good, you do better. But it has to start with the desire, a want to change. And the physical change is a result of the mental desire and thought. So it has to start mentally. Now, once you put on the clothes, now this is another thing too. It's a process. It's a process. So you may think about changing your attire for months, years, and days before you do. How many people say, well, I know I need to stop smoking. I know I need to start working out. I know I need to eat different. And then it takes a month, year, or in 10 days for them to do it. But it takes the mental energy first to build up and accumulate for you to say, you know what? I'm going to go into the store next time. I'm going to get the suit the next time. I'm going to start wearing polos. I'm going to start doing this. And I'm not saying that you have to do those things. I'm just saying that if you want to be perceived, because perception is reality, if you want to be perceived as a professional and get a specific kind of coin soon, then it would behoove you to switch the attire. Now, people will say, well, Shaan, what about this person, or what about that person who doesn't do that, who wears a t-shirt? I'm going to say, listen, I might love the individual, but it might have taken 15 years. It might have taken 15, 20 years for them to be able to establish that brand. So if you want to take 15 to 20 years to build yours and be perceived as a professional, go right ahead. However, if you want a head start, perception is reality. Dress the part you're trying to get. Dress the bank account you're trying to get.
Right. So on that part there, I want to go into another question because
Okay.
coming to a point here, right?
Okay.
So yes, it starts with the mental, but we also know that putting on the attire. Or let me ask the question.
Oh, I'm
Yes,
sorry. I'm
putting on
sorry.
the attire.
What did Coach B say? I'm sorry. I see something in the chat, brother. Just hold on to that 1 second.
Okay.
Coach B, look what Coach B says.
So she says, I always admired suits and briefcases, but was told I couldn't afford it. I love rocking suits.
All right. Now I can really, really relate to this, right? I can really relate to this because before I couldn't. So what I'm going to say is, and I'm going to take you back to Think and Grow Rich. In Think and Grow Rich, the author leased 3 suits. He put 3 suits on a credit card. He leased them and paid for them weekly. We go into debt as a people. We go into debt for experiences. We go into debt for a vacation. We go into debt to get a car. We go into debt to do all kinds of things. Yes, Napoleon Hill, we go into debt for so many different things, but we don't go into debt to build our business or build ourselves. We go into debt for external pleasures that are momentous at best. And when it comes to internal change, and when it comes to the appearance of a professional, the appearance that would make you feel better, look better, and then do better and achieve better, we say, I'm not worth it.
That's powerful. That's very powerful and very, very true, unfortunately. Very
And then
true.
we wonder why we don't close the deals that we would like to. But you answer your own question when you make the decision consciously. I'm not worth it. When you show up like you're not worth it. When you're seen, you're perceived as if you're not worth it because that is your internal decision. I'm not worth it. So I'm going to keep rocking this until that happens. It doesn't happen that way. You don't get fire before you put the wood in.
That's right. So,
Go
Shaan,
ahead. What was your question?
my question is, how does the physical attire, how does that reinforce the mental attire? Because I've experienced this personally. There is a magic in changing your attire to match your desire. I agree. It starts with the mental. You have to have the desire. But as we both know, a lot of people they want stuff. They want to be this person. They want to be that person. But they never. It's like they're this person this month. Then they go back to them. It's almost like the thermostat, right? I want to be
Yes.
amazing. I want to be a 5-star coach. I want to be great. They get on a high and then they come right back down. But
Oh yeah.
what I've found in my experience, sometimes for that particular person, when you want to raise your standards by changing your attire, it sort of supports and it helps you to change your mental attire. Changing your physical attire helps you to change your mental attire. So I just want to hear your perspective on that. We know that it starts with a desire, but we also know, and we taught this in a challenge some time ago, the concept of cognition, where somebody changes their clothes, changes their clothing, and they change their self-image
That's
as a
right.
result of changing their clothing. So my question was more geared towards, okay, should somebody's having trouble changing their mental attire, should they look towards changing their physical attire to reinforce the new mental attire that they want to brand
Okay.
themselves?
I understand. I understand completely. This is where inculturation comes in, right? This is a concept, and sometimes you have to pardon my education because it won't be as simple, right? I'll use a word like inculturation, and you'll say, what does that mean? Inculturation means your acclimation to your environment, the way you were raised, right? So where I was raised, as you know, Harlem, the old Harlem, people didn't go to college. So I had an inclination though. I had an inclination to go to college, but every time I grew my mindset, I was like a rubber band brought right back by my environment, right? So you have to change your environment. You have to change your environment. And how do we change our environment? Community. Community cements. Community cements the reinforcement and the transformation. You can come to breakfast with the brand. You can come to the leadership leverage community at 7. But if Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you're surrounded by standards that are below where you want to go, then you're going to get real hyped on Saturday and Sunday for 1 hour, and then you're going to shrink back. You're not going to be able to keep up the momentum because you're not going to keep up the inspiration and the motivation and the reinforcement and the actual principles. You're not going to get that from a free hour. That requires a heavier investment than just 1 hour for free. People value what they pay for. So get yourself in a community of people who walk the talk and stay there and make sure it's a painful investment so that you appreciate it and take it seriously. That's what
That's
I
correct.
did. That's what I did. That's exactly what I did. I went to the most expensive schools and I stayed in the most expensive communities. I put myself in the most expensive seats on the plane, and at one time that was coach. But if that was what I could pay for, you better believe I got on the plane instead of taking a bus. And when I got in first class, when I got in business, it was like, wow, this is $300 more to be on the same plane. It's $300 more to be on the same plane. So $400 and $800 almost to be on the same plane, get to the same place at the same time with the same people. I'm on the same plane, but I'm in a better seat. Instead of having 3 people next to me, now I got 2 people next to me or 1 person next to me. It's a different mindset. What are you looking for? It's a different mindset. How do you perceive yourself? You will be perceived by other people the way you perceive yourself. And then as soon as it was possible for me to, and I don't mean affordable, as soon as it was possible for me to put myself in first class, I put myself in first class, and I ain't looked back yet. Not only do I get in first class, I get in the first seat in first class. That's changing the face of leadership. So when everybody gets on the plane, they look and they see me, and I'm like, yep. I'm in a book. I don't be there like, yep. No, I don't do that. I'm in a book, but I'm a black man in the first seat when you get on a plane. That's a signal for the people who look like me, kids who look like me, that they can make it wherever they want to go. And I'm on the same plane. But now instead of paying $300, $400, $500 more, I'm paying almost $1,000 more to be there. But that's how I perceive myself. That's how I perceive myself. And I'm sitting next to one person, and that one person is in first class too, and they're coming with me. I travel with someone, right? But watch this. Because I'm in that seat, I done went from a seat with 3 people next to me to a seat with 2 people next to me to a seat with who I choose next to me. And I'm shooting for the seat that's a one-seater in a private plane with nobody next to me looking across from whoever I want to look at. In a short amount of time, because of the way I perceive myself. Where do you want to go? How do you perceive yourself? And then what are you sacrificing? What are you doing? What steps are you taking? What money are you putting where your mouth is to put yourself in the seat that you want to be in? If your moves are comfortable, your moves are not concrete. You are on quicksand. If you're comfortable, you'll say, well, I can't do this because it's not comfortable. It's not the right time. That's a little bit hard for me. It's going to be rough. It should be rough. If it isn't rough, it isn't right. If it's too easy, it won't make a difference. Anywhere worth going is going to be painful. Start where you are with what you have. Make the best decision.
Yes, sir. Guys, we're about to go to a break in 1 second. When we come back, we'll be taking some questions. Please put some flames in the chat. Make sure you share this video. We'll be back in a few seconds. Let's go.
Let's go.
right, guys, welcome back. This is Breakfast with the Brand. If you have enjoyed this show so far, I want you to do something right now. Put some flames in the chat. All right, we're gonna get into some questions here. Mr. B, I think Shade and also Coach B had a question. If we could scroll up somewhere in the chat here and just bring that up, that would be really, really useful. All right, guys, so let's get those flames going. Let's get those flames going as we get those questions ready. Oh no, it wasn't this one. It was there you go. So not a challenge, but what if mindset and tempo is grind?
Ah,
And you the roll up your sleeves type.
you don't know what you don't know. I used to be the same way, 100%, 1000%, right? But then I learned scale requires system. Scale requires system. Scale also requires a certain level of sophistication, which requires system. It's still grind, but it's a gorgeous grind. It's still grind. It's still, listen to this, watch this. It's getting 5 times the results in one half of the time with 1/3 of the effort. Now, let me ask you a question. If you could learn how to get 5 times the results in one half of the time with 1/3 of the effort, wouldn't that sound like a phenomenal trade-off? Put
See
that in
we
the
have
chat.
see we have some hashtags there. Gorgeous, gorgeous
Yeah,
grind.
yeah, it's still
I see
grind.
that.
But
Yeah.
it's the kind of grind that rewards you twice as much, 3 times, 5 times as much for half of the effort. Like you can work harder, you can work smart.
Right. You could work hard or smart. You
Yeah,
know,
you
Sean,
can
I heard
work harder,
somebody
you
I
can
heard
work smart.
someone
It's
say
not
something,
taking
right?
away the ethic, but it's the difference between $100,000 and 1 million.
I heard somebody say something, right? Somebody said working hard will keep you hard at work.
Woo!
Working hard. Check this out. Hold on.
Woo! Hold up. That's a pin
Hold on.
moment.
Hold on. Let me see. Let me see. Guys, write this down. Working hard will keep you hard at work. Working hard and working smart, you'll hardly have to work.
Oh, what? Say it again. Say it again.
All right. Working hard will keep you hard at work. Working hard and working smart, you'll hardly have to work.
You hardly have to work. I love enjoying my life. I love travel. I love luxury. I love it. I love my children enjoying luxury. And when I say like everybody, don't you want to take over first class, guys? Real talk. Like, don't you want to like lock down the entire thing? Like a private plane before you can get the private plane. Don't you want to have the entire thing with your people up there? Like, yeah, everybody's together in the first class section. I love that. He said, working hard will keep you hard at work. Working hard at working smart, you hardly have to work. Let's go. Let's
Yes,
go.
sir.
I know people, brother Shade. I know people who work extremely hard. And I had a job in construction, right? When I was younger, I had a job at construction, but you know, there was a time when I said, and I loved work. I work out now. I love physical exertion. I work out now. So I don't get it twisted when I say that I was probably, I don't know, late 20s, early 30s doing labor, cinder block labor, digging, shoveling labor. And I said to myself, because I saw people like the foreman and the people around me who were 50, 50, some of them almost 60, sweating profusely and wearing back braces and climbing scaffolds with cinder blocks on their backs. And all of them were darker skinned people. And I said, nope, no, no, not because I can't, but because I won't. I've got a greater calling than this. I'm going to build something. By God, you better believe I'm going to build something, but what I build will be mine. What I build will be mine, and people will be able to live in it the same way those buildings that we used to build, people will live in those. But what I build will be mine. It'll have my name on it. It'll have my children's name on it. And somehow there'll be endless doors. Somehow there'll be endless doors. And when people stop here, they're going to learn something that's going to take them to first class, take them to the top seat, first class, help them to do the same thing. So I build to help other people build what their minds can see and their hearts can conceive. It's a different kind of grind, brother. It's still grind, but it's a different quality.
Definitely is. All right, so let's get.
I love hard work, though. Don't get it twisted. I love hard work, and I love your energy. I love your energy. I have no problems with rolling up the sleeves. Not at all. Just let them be luxury sleeves.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Yeah, let them be luxury sleeves, man. Our kids watched us work hard, and our parents watch their parents work hard, and their parents watch their parents work hard. Shift. We don't work hard for 400 plus.
Yep.
Shift. It's time for a shift.
Yeah, you can say that. You can say that again. Time for a shift. All right, Mr. B. Let's get Coach B's question.
And then we're gonna ask our question.
Hold on, we have one more. I have to ask Marvel's question. I have to
Okay,
ask.
no problem. Bring up Coach B.
Okay, Coach B. All right. No, that's not it.
That's not it.
Where is it?
I actually didn't see it, but you can bring it up if you can.
Yeah, it's a little higher up. It's a little higher up. Guys, by the way, when you put questions, something that would be very helpful, just put a Q, put a capital Q next to your question. All right, so how would you prioritize which one to do first on a startup budget? As your business was growing, you were able to do more.
I put myself in the right environment first. I put myself in the right environment first. By putting myself in the right environment and accumulating the information, Napoleon Hill also writes this. He says, when you finally crack the code of wealth and abundance, it rushes down on you like a flowing stream. And it comes in such abundance that it blows your mind and it makes you wonder, where was all of this money all of this time? Right? So what I did was I poured everything, 120 degrees of my energy, time, effort, and economy into personal and professional development. That's what I did. I spared no expense because I wanted my results to be big and I wanted them to be as fast as possible. Right? So even when I couldn't afford the suits, I made sure I adorned my mindset and my body in the right environment with the right people that I knew would help me get there. So that's first. Now, if you're talking about what attire first, it's about what attire to get first. I honestly didn't do suits first. I did like polos, slacks, and shoes. For a man, shoes all day. I think for a woman, it's probably the same thing. But shoes will change the way you walk. Shoes will change the way you walk. And a button up or a polo will change the way you're perceived. And slacks. Get some slacks. And listen, it's so much easier than what you think. You have to, okay, so let me say this first. You have to be humble for it to work. You have to be humble. If you're not humble, you won't be able to do it on any budget, because there's always the next level, and you'll never have enough to go to the 20th floor before you get through 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That's what people's problem is. They're not humble. And they're like, I can't go to the penthouse. And since I can't go to the penthouse, I'm going to stay outside the building and say, I don't need that stuff. That's not just stubborn. The word that is starts with an S and ends with a D, but it's not stubborn, right? Be humble. And when I say be humble, be humble. Be humble. You can go to Goodwill and look 10 times better. You can go to Goodwill or the Salvation Army and feel 10 times better and be perceived 10 times better than when you feel like you got to go to Macy's or Lord & Taylor or Nordstrom. But you got to start somewhere, or you're going to stay stuck where you're at. And there's no such thing as stationary or stable. If you're not moving forward, you are moving backwards, and you'll find out soon enough.
Super powerful. Hopefully that definitely answered your question.
You can change your whole wardrobe with $100, Coach B. And you know this. You know this because I know you, and I know you've worked in those environments where you provide those kind of things and you provide those kind of services to people who are starting. You can spend $200, $300 and go to the Goodwill and come out of there looking like you came out of Brooks Brothers. You just got to hunt. You got to hunt, and you got to be humble, and you got to desire it. I promise you, if you desire it and you pray for it, whatever you pray for and you work towards will be answered. It'll be given unto you. Sevenfold.
I see Coach. Oh no, that's not Coach B. Okay.
You said Marva had a question.
Yeah, Marva had a question. So Marva actually sent in the question to support some time ago. Guys, if you do have questions that you'd like us to answer on the show, you could send them to support at shaanrais.com. Mr. B, put that somewhere in the chat for anybody who needs it. So Marva says, Grand Rising, when developing your brand, or when developing my brand, do I need to determine who the ideal client? Do I need to determine the ideal client first? AKA target audience. So let me read that again. When developing my brand, do I need to determine who the ideal client is first?
No. You have to identify the ideal life that you want first. Once you get the ideal life, then you get the ideal client that's going to provide you with the ideal income for the ideal service that you want to provide. So number one, what do you want out of it? Design your ideal life first. What quality of life do you want? And then number two, what do you want to do? This is your business. This is not a job you're applying for. You don't have to take the position that's open. What do you want to do in your business? What service do you want to provide? And then when you have those two, that's when you find the ideal client. Identify the ideal client who can help you get where you're trying to go.
Nice. So it's a two-part question.
Okay.
So the other question is, what questions do I ask myself to develop the brand?
Say that one more time.
What questions do you ask yourself to develop your brand?
I love that question. That's a very intelligent question. I did this exercise just a couple of days ago, right? Because it was my born day, and I do it every 12 years, every 12-month cycle. I ask myself questions just like that. I ask myself questions just like I just gave you. Every service that we provide, every business that we've provided, every iteration that we've made to our business model, every additional avatar that we've added to our targeted population that we serve has been based on that question that I just gave you. Where do I see myself in 10 years? Where do I see myself in 10 years? What's the easiest way to get there? How do I want to get there? And based on that, I define what the next move is for the brand. Through that question and answer, through that question, that's a phenomenal question. I really like that question. That is, as a matter of fact, I'm going to gift you with something. I'm going to gift you with something for the power of that question, because I can't answer it in 2 seconds. So if you're available, I'll probably talk with you after this call. I'll probably talk to you after this episode so you can get a deeper, you deserve a deeper understanding of that. But for everybody else who's here, the benefit of that question, you're going to get the answer to it. I ask myself those same questions. What do I want? Where do I want to be? And how do I want to get there? And based on the answer to those 2 questions, I shift my brand in that direction. I shift my business in that direction. Great question. Great question. Contact. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, that was a great question. Get her information, Junior, and let me know how she can be contacted, because I'll give her something quick, like 9:30 or something.
All right, Shaan. So we will definitely do that. And thank you for that question, Marvel. That's an excellent question.
Definitely.
So we have one more question.
Okay, what is it?
It has to be the $100 question, because we're very much over time. So we have to do the $100 question now.
Okay, you want me to do the $100 question? You said the question was the $100 question. Is it my question or their question?
Is there?
It can't be their question. Their question can't be the $100 question.
What do you mean?
Oh, you want me to ask the question now?
Yeah, give them the question.
Oh, phenomenal. Okay, guys. So this is the question. We are doing the brand challenge next week. Brand challenge, BRAND challenge, the 10th, the 11th, and the 12th. What does the A stand for? Start now.
Mr. B, let's get some music.
Brand challenge, 3-day challenge, this weekend coming, the 10th, the 11th, and the 12th. What does the A stand for?
I know, Shaan, that's a pretty tough question. It's a pretty tough question.
Not accelerate. Not attitude. Not application, not awareness.
And I think you might have to give a clue. You might have to give a clue.
60 more seconds. 60 more seconds. Okay, I've posted it before.
Guys, go to his profile. Go to one of his profiles. That's the fastest way.
Not advancement. Stop the music after 60 more seconds, Mr. B. About 45 now. Come on, guys. What do we teach? What do we teach?
Shade put something there. Let's see what he says.
Amplify. Taisha's close. Taisha's close. 20 more seconds. Getting
Come on,
warmer.
Ty, you're very close. 2 words. It's 2 words.
Look at Mr. Frederick.
Wow.
Oh, that was it.
Nobody got the money. Nobody got the
Nobody
money.
got it. You know what we're gonna do? We'll probably send Taisha like half of it. The key is authenticity marketing. The word is authenticity marketing, right? So the brand challenge consists of changing your social media to business media. The R stands for how you can utilize remote teams and get your time back. The A stands for authenticity marketing. The N stands for name, image, and likeness, or what we call personal branding. And the D stands for delegation, more commonly known as leadership. Do not miss this 3-day challenge. Do not miss this 3-day challenge. The brand challenge on the 10th, 11th, and 12th. Let's grow, guys. Thank you for your time. Somebody get Marva's information so we can go ahead and jump on that call. The quality of your questions in life and business will determine the quality of your answers.
Let's grow.